And you can see by running this report that maybe my campaign, with the bids that I have, with the ads that I have, I'm only receiving 10% of the overall traffic. Well, I don't want to receive 10%. I want to make sure that at least 60% or 70% or 100% of relevant searches that I'm capturing that. So by running the share voice report, you can really see how competitive you are in the network, and that, provides you with a starting place for where you might be able to optimize. So whether that's your bid isn't competitive enough, perhaps your ads need some modification or some optimizing, or likewise, it's possible that your quality score might not be competitive enough, or that there might be something on the back end preventing that ad from serving to that overall marketplace. So again, by running both of these at least monthly, I know every 2 weeks might be difficult, at least monthly, running these reports to see where there's room for improvement are very helpful. I say that this is important even if you've been running your campaign for a long time, because again, we continue to bring advertisers into the marketplace, which is going to change the competitive landscape, which means that your strategy is going to have to change as well in order to keep up with the competitive landscape. One of the nice things about Bing, and one of the reasons why our CPC is consistently lower than Google, is because we don't have as many advertisers within the ecosystem right now. So again, you're able to do a little bit more testing because our CPCs are lower, but it's also important to know that since we are continuing to bring on new advertisers and we're continuing to refine our strategy, that optimizing throughout the duration of the campaign is very crucial. There's also some key features that you can add to our campaign that are very simple, take less than 5 minutes to do, and are going to quickly increase your traffic as well as improve the quality of the clicks that you're receiving. One of them actually happens to be my personal favorite, is site link extensions. So the site link extensions allow you to essentially go directly to the page, the landing page that you want to within a broader site. So I like to think about it as if you're going to a store. You like to see a directory as soon as you go to the store to what aisle you want to go to. I know right before I came here to WPC, I went to Home Depot. Now you walk into one of those stores and you're immediately overwhelmed. Okay, I know what I want to go to. I know this is a large store. Where the heck do I go to? What aisle do I want to go to? Site link extensions allow you to go directly to that explicit page without having to click through 2, 3 interstitial pages in order to get there. So not only is your user more likely to convert because it's going to be a shorter conversion funnel, but also you're going to make sure that the people clicking on your site really know what your site is about. You're not going to lose users because they went to the wrong site. They don't understand what your product is. You're allowed to add up to 6 additional links for ads. So again, your user can go to those explicit pages. The other thing I want to point out about this is look at how much more real estate you get for your ad. So if you look at AT&T here on top, not only do they have their ad there, but then look at how much real estate they're taking up there by having those explicit site links called out. We also have this available on the mobile phone. You think about your screen, how big your mobile phone is, and how limited ad space already is on your mobile phone. By adding site links, think about how much real estate your ad is taking up. It's a lot of space. So not only are more eyes going to be cast over this, you're going to increase the number of clicks that you're receiving as well as the quality. We've seen an average increase of nearly 16% in click-through rates for users who've added site links to their campaigns. And again, you don't need to have all 6. In these cases, it looks like 2 of them have 4, 1 of them have 3. Sometimes people just have 2, or likewise, you can use them all of them to direct users to the most relevant links within your website. And again, very easy to set up. Another one is location extensions. So again, this is only relevant if you have a physical location that you want to drive people to. But again, you can add your nearest business location and phone number directly into your ad, so users immediately have more information about you. You can also add a directions link that allows you to quickly click on that link, and you're going to have maps pulled up, and it's going to immediately pull in directions for you. And again, this is available on both PC, tablet devices, as well as your mobile phone. So for those people who have brick and mortar shops, or if you're actually trying to drive somebody to a specific location, very relevant. We've also seen that the trust rating for these ads is up too, because again, it's giving explicit information directly in the ad. Somebody can see you're relevant, somebody can see you're credible, simply because you have that address, that phone number directly in the ad. You're showing yourself to that end user. And we've seen the average click-through rate of ads in the mainline position that include location extensions to be on average 33% higher than those without location extensions. And where I think this is especially true is, again, on the mobile phone, because when you're doing a mobile search, your intent is to be much quicker than on the PC or on the tablet. If I'm typing in a deli or a restaurant or hotel that I might want to search for, if I see an address and a phone number on there, I'm much more likely to quickly engage with it than having to go through multiple pages in order to get that contact information and then make my decision. So both location extensions and site link extensions, very quick and easy to do from the Bing Ads UI. You're going to increase your click-through rate, the quality of your ad, or quality of the clicks that you receive, because you're going to have more engaged users. And in both cases, you're going to be taking up more real estate. So kind of a freebie there. So again, we talked about a lot of different optimizations that you can do. All of these are available within the UI, but we know that sometimes navigating the UI, being online all the time, can sometimes be challenging. This is a tool that can be very, very helpful. It's completely free and it's available on our website, and it's called Bing Ads Intelligence, or BAI for short. It's an Excel add-in, so as long as you're using Excel, you can quickly download this. It's built directly into Excel using this add-in, and you can get started right away. This tool was really built for optimizers, so people who are going to be going into the campaigns, running reports, optimizing keywords and bids. But one of the things that we don't necessarily advertise that it's used for, but where a lot of people end up using it, is in that sales and RFP process. So if anyone in the room is advertising on behalf of somebody else, so if you have advertisers at your agency or at your company, and you're trying to determine what their strategy should be as far as how much budget they should provide you in order to build their campaign or what their bids may look like, this is a good sales tool, and can be very useful for the RFP process as well. So there's a number of different things that you can do with BAI. We're going to talk about some of the most popular ones and the ones that I think are most relevant to everybody. First one of those being keyword expansion. So again, I showed you that you can run that report within the UI, but this is a bit more of a robust report that you can run in Excel. It's also, in my opinion, a little easier to navigate because you can switch all the buttons and adjust everything to your liking. So it's going to take your campaign, it's going to export it from Bing Ads UI and bring it into Excel. It's then going to suggest generated keywords based off of what you already have in your campaign. Again, it's basing this off of historical information from Bing Ads and what your competitors are doing and those who have similar keywords. It's also looking at search queries over the past 60 days. So what it's going to tell you is by match type and by keyword, essentially how much volume we have available on Bing Ads. So if you're thinking about expanding your business or expanding your keywords or expanding your product set, and you want to know if you should be adding them to the Bing Ads console, this here can immediately tell you what your approximate search volume is based on the last 60 days of historical data. Always important to remember to take this with a grain of salt. Sometimes I see that retail clients use this in the month of January, and they're really, really happy with the amount of traffic that we have, and then that's quickly deflated. So again, keep in mind that it's based off of historical information, take it with a grain of salt, but it's a really good place to start and how to think about optimizing your campaign. So it's going to tell you what the volume is based off historical data for each one of those match types. It's going to tell you what the historical performance on the network has looked like as well. So what the average clicks, CTR, CPC is for each one of those keywords. So again, when you think about expanding what you already have running with us, it gives us a good idea of how much more you might be spending with us as well, so you don't have any surprises. If you add 25 or 50 keywords with us, you have a relatively good idea on how much more traffic you're going to be receiving, so the increase in budget or increase in spend shouldn't be a surprise. And it's going to provide you with suggested bids as well, based on what your strategy is. So if you want to be in mainline 1 versus the sidebar, we're going to have varying suggested bids for you based off of what your strategy is, and that's going to be part of this report. So again, it's all based on historical information, And you can filter it however you want on here. So if you're only looking as far as your strategy to bid on one exact match type, or if you want to make sure that your CPCs or your volume is within a certain range, you can filter all of that in the report here as well. So another one, the first report does give you bids based off of what that keyword expansion report looks like. But let's say you're really just interested in how competitive you are for the current keywords that you have within your campaign. This is the best report to use, and this I find is the report run most often if you're trying to use BAI as a sales tool or part of your RFP process, because this is going to give you right away what that approximate budget is going to look like, so you know what to discuss and what to lay on the table with your clients. So it's going to look at the keywords within your current campaign. So again, this isn't going to expand upon them, but it's going to look at your current keywords, and then it's going to look at your current position and provide you with bid estimators on what position you want to be at. And it's also going to tell you what the approximate impressions are and the approximate clicks at each one of those positions as well. So if you have a very limited budget, it's unlikely that part of your strategy wants to be in mainline 1, because that's going to be a much more competitive cost per click. Your budget is going to be eaten a bit faster because mainline 1 tends to garner more clicks than, let's say, mainline 3. So you're going to want to adjust your strategy according to how much budget you have, how much traffic you want to receive. So where we see this used a lot also is seasonality as well. So for instance, if you know that your business at certain times of the year gets more traffic, or you want to drive more traffic to your site, running this report may help you decide, based off of historical information, how much more competitive you're going to have to bid for certain time periods. And again, if you're trying to decide how much traffic you want to expect per week or by day, this is a good report to run as well, so you can set your budget settings accordingly, whether you want to have a weekly budget, a daily budget, a monthly budget, etc. This is going to give you a relatively good idea of the traffic that we have and what you have to bid at to be competitive. There's a lot of advanced functionalities that's available as well that we won't go into. But one of the other things that BAI is really good for is determining what your targeting strategy is. So we know that local is becoming much more important as part of a digital advertising strategy, and making sure that you're really targeting appropriately, whether that's a physical location or a specific audience demographic that you want to reach. By using BAI, you can actually see where users are coming from for certain keywords, so you can perhaps adjust your location settings accordingly, whether that's by country, region, province, state, zip code, etc. And again, available on all of our devices, so you can again kind of fine-tune your strategy accordingly. Talking about targeting as well, that's also an important thing to note as far as optimization, is we find that one of the most common pitfalls that people run into when making optimizations is not checking their targeting settings, because that can very quickly get changed without necessarily needing to. Again, no matter what site you're running on, targeting settings is important to constantly be checking to make sure that you are advertising to a specific location or the type of individual, whether that's age, time of day, gender, etc. We find that a lot of times when people are optimizing, those settings are sometimes changed erroneously, and can definitely throw off your campaign until the next time that you come back in and check. So as we talk about optimization, again, these are only a very top line of where to get started. There's so many more things that you can be doing. There's great resources available online, both in Bing Ads, Yahoo Ads, and likewise just on the internet in general. There's great resources. But if you're thinking about just the top level things that you want to be doing in order to make your campaign successful and optimized, so again, making sure that you have a high quality score and that you're editorial compliant. The last thing that we want to see is your ads be sitting there not running, or likewise not being able to work with us at all because it's continuously disapproved in the system. Utilizing broad match. So again, this doesn't necessarily have to be a long-term strategy, it could be a short-term strategy, but making sure that you at least test it out in order to see what type of traffic you can get. Ensure you're competitive, whether that's by expanding your keywords, making sure that your bids are competitive in the marketplace. If you've done all of this work to get great keywords and ads into your campaign, we want to make sure they're running. Using location extensions and site links, again, you're going to improve your click-through rate increase the quality of your traffic, and you're also going to take up more real estate on the page. Downloading Bing Ads Intelligence and running reports. Again, we recommend running reports every 2 to 4 weeks, whether that's through the UI itself or through BAI. Again, just making sure your campaign is constantly refreshed and competitive. And then removing low-performing ads. So if you see that there's ads or the keywords that are sitting there, you might think they're really relevant, they're great keywords, they're great ads, but they're not garnering any traffic, or they have a low conversion rate, go ahead and get those out so that our traffic can go to the keywords and the ads that are higher performing. Review targeting options. So again, making sure that your targeting is always set correctly. And test the options that you have as well. Sometimes we see people come in with a very narrow view of who and what they want to target. And just by testing, maybe allocate a tenth of your budget into a test of varying targeting options can sometimes really cast a wider net and open your eyes to an additional traffic source. And then ensuring parity with Bing ads using the Google import feature. So again, it's not about advertising on either or search engine, but by having a comprehensive digital advertising solution on both networks. And we do have a feature available in the Bing Ads UI. It's called our Google import feature. And it's with a quick one click, you can enter your Google credentials. It will bring in what you're doing on Google. So if you've spent a number of hours optimizing your Google campaign, you don't necessarily want to repeat that within our UI. You can quickly import everything you've done from Google. All those features, all the hard work you've done will come directly into our search engine, into the UI. You can take a quick look at that, make sure everything imported correctly, and go ahead and set it live so you don't have to do the work twice. We really want to make sure that we're not having anybody recreate the wheel when they're optimizing or setting up a new campaign with us. So for those of you who are part of the Microsoft Partner Network and may be interested in advertising with Bing, you might already have existing credits if you have any one of these competencies. So go ahead and check what you're doing with the Partner Network. We also have people available downstairs on the expo hall with the Partner Network that can help answer any questions there. Again, this deck is going to be available online after the presentation, so you can pull the links or any of this information. But we also have some other available resources that are helpful. And then one of the things that I really highly recommend if you are doing digital advertising today at your company, or you have employees that are doing digital advertising, is to get everybody Bing Ads accredited. It's completely free of charge. They take you through various training modules, and then a final exam. You get a really handy Bing Ads accreditation badge that you can put on your marketing materials or your signature. You can build a profile on the Bing website to advertise yourself or your company. Again, it's a wonderful program. We provide you with a lot of materials, both to take away with you, but then also online to use as part of this accreditation, and it's completely free of charge. We also have 24-hour chat support and a 1-800 number available if you ever have questions about your campaign. And likewise, if you're interested in a dedicated account team, they can help you out with that as well. So thank you so much for coming. We do have some additional time if anyone has questions. Or I'll be hanging out after the presentation.